War is a music band that burst into the 70s with a unique sound that ranged from R&B, funk, jazz, blues, Latin, rock, and reggae. Welcome to the House of Nostalgia, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Howard E. Scott and Harold Brown were two high schoolers that formed a group in Long Beach, California by the name of the Creators. Between 1962 and 1965, three more members were added to the group: saxophonist flutist Charles Miller, bassist Leroy Lonnie Jordan, and bassist Morris B.B. Dickerson. While working with jazz saxophonist T.J. Cantrellite, formerly of the group Love, the group recorded several songs on Dory Records. In 1968, the name of the group was changed to Night Shift. During this time, Morris B.B. Dickerson was replaced by a new bassist, Peter Rosen, and percussionist Thomas Sylvester Papa D. Allen. Within the same year, Morris B.B. Dickerson returned to the group following the sudden death of Peter Rosen due to a drug overdose. In 1969, the group was discovered by producer Jerry Goldstein while they were backing football player Deacon Jones' performance at a small club called the Rag Doll. Shortly after, the group collaborated with Eric Burdon, the former lead singer of the group The Animals, and harmonica player Lee Oskar. During this collaboration, Eric Burdon named the group War. And in 1970, their first album was recorded, Burdon Declares War. Their first major hit from the album was the chart topper Spill the Wine. The group toured the United States and Europe extensively. They made history during this time, but not in a good way. In London on September the 18th, 1970, at Ronnie Scott's club, the group was joined on stage with Jimi Hendrix just one day before his death. The group's second album was released around the end of 1970, The Black Man's Burden, which was a 2-record set. The group was allowed to sign a separate recording contract from Burdon with United Artists. Burdon left the group in 1971 during the middle of a European tour due to exhaustion. Around the end of 1971, the group released their album, All Day Music, which was their first million-seller gold album. The album produced the hit songs Slipping Into Darkness and the title song All Day Music. In 1972, the group released The World Is a Ghetto, which spawned the classic songs The Cisco Kid and the title track The World Is a Ghetto. The album was labeled Billboard Magazine's Album of the Year and the best-selling album of 1973. Also in 1973, the album Deliver the Word was their next effort, which produced the hit singles Gypsy Man and Me and Baby Brother. This was another million-seller album. In 1974, War Live was their next double concert album, which was recorded during a Chicago concert. 1975's album release, Why Can't We Be Friends, included the two classic hits, Low Rider and the title track, Why Can't We Be Friends. Both songs were chart toppers and classic songs. In 1976, the group released their greatest hits album with an extra recorded single named Summer. The song by itself went gold. The album Love Is All Around by Eric Burdon and War was released that same year. It was unreleased recordings from the year of 1969 and 1970 which appeared on the Blue Note Jazz label under the title Platinum Jazz, which became a very successful album for the label as well as the group. In 1977, the group changed labels and signed to MCA. The album Galaxy, which produced the title track, was their first successful album for that label. In 1978, the group did a soundtrack for the movie Youngblood. In 1979, Morris B.B. Dickerson left the group and was replaced by Luther Rabb, Ronnie Hammond, and female vocalist Alice Tweed Smith. In 1979, original member Charles Miller was replaced by Pat Rizzo. A year later, tragedy struck and ex-band member Charles Miller was murdered. In 1979, the band decided to record a couple of albums under the title umbrella, The Music Band, and a third which consisted of unreleased music from 1979 to 1983. After the release of the first two Music Band albums, Alice Tweed Smith left the group. In 1982, the album Outlaw was released with the success of the title track and another classic song, Cinco de Mayo. In 1983, one of the founding members, Harold Brown, left the group, and Pat Rizzo also left the group a year before. In 1983, the band's next album, Life is So Strange, did not make the charts. In 1988, tragedy struck the group for the second time, and band member Thomas Sylvester, Papa D. Allen, collapsed and died on stage of a brain aneurysm. After the 1983 album Life is Strange, the group toured but didn't record again until 1992's Rap Declares War, which they recorded with a host of rappers. During this time, Lee Oskar left the group, leaving only two original members, Howard E. Scott and Leroy Lonnie Jordan. In 1994, the band recorded Peace Sign, which brought back one of the group's original members, Harold Brown. Other members during this time was programmer Ray Valentine, harmonica player Tex Nikamura, saxophonist Kerry Campbell and Charles Green, and percussionist Sal Rodriguez. The album failed to chart, and the group resumed touring. By 1997, the two founding members of the group, Harold Brown and Howard Scott, left the group. In 2008, Leroy Lonnie Jordan, the only original member in the group, teamed up with Eric Burdon for one night at London's Royal Albert Hall. Later that year, the group released their greatest hits album from 1969 to 1975. In 2014, the group released Evolutionary, their first studio album since 1997. This album was released with their greatest hits. In 2009, the group was nominated to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but did not make it due to not having enough votes. War's music is a gift to the world that has stood the test of time, and they most definitely deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.